1958 to 1959 Oldsmobile Dynamic 88. Kicking off at number 9 is the 1958 to 1959 Oldsmobile Dynamic 88. When General Motors saw Chrysler's bold new designs, they panicked and rushed to compete. The result was the Dynamic 88, powered by a 371 cubic inch rocket V8 delivering 305 horsepower. This beast sat on a 122.5-inch wheelbase and tipped the scales at over 4,000 pounds. But here's the problem. GM sacrificed everything for excess. The Dynamic 88 became a chrome-covered monster with bizarre proportions and non-functional design elements plastered everywhere. Those quad headlights looked like an afterthought. The massive weight killed performance and fuel economy. Worse yet, quality suffered dramatically in the rush to market. Within 12 months, these cars already looked outdated, while Chevrolet's designs became timeless. Buyers stayed away, sales tanked, and Oldsmobile went back to the drawing board for 1961. This car taught us that panic-driven design rarely succeeds, and copying competitors without a plan leads to disaster. 1959 to 1960 Chevrolet El Camino. At number 8, meet the 1959 to 1960 Chevrolet El Camino, a vehicle that couldn't figure out what it wanted to be. Built using the massive Impala chassis, this car-truck hybrid measured over 210 inches long with a 119.5-inch wheelbase. You could get anything from a basic 235 cubic inch six-cylinder up to a serious 348 cubic inch V8 pumping out 315 horsepower. Here's where it all went wrong. That cargo bed, only 77 inches long, basically useless for anyone doing actual work. Tradesmen laughed at it. Meanwhile, families looking for transportation hated losing the back seat for a tiny truck bed. The El Camino was enormous yet impractical, weird yet boring. In 2 years, Chevy only sold 22,246 units, an absolute disaster. They killed it in 1960 and pretended it never happened until 1964, when they brought it back on the smaller Chevelle platform where the concept actually worked. This first attempt showed us that trying to please everyone means pleasing no one. 1957 to 1959 Renault Dauphine. Coming in at number 7 is the 1957 to 1959 Renault Dauphine, a French compact that Americans wish had stayed in France. This rear-engined economy car used an 845cc four-cylinder, making a pathetic 27 horsepower. With an 89-inch wheelbase and weighing roughly 1,400 pounds, Renault marketed it as affordable European transportation for budget-conscious Americans. The reality was brutal. Getting to 60 miles per hour required over 30 seconds of foot-to-the-floor driving, absolutely terrifying when merging onto highways. But the glacial acceleration was just the beginning. These cars developed rust faster than anything else on American roads. The electrical system failed constantly, that little engine overheated in stop-and-go traffic, the gearbox fought you on every shift. Consumer Reports eventually warned Americans to avoid it completely. Initial sales numbers looked promising, but word spread quickly. Renault's American reputation collapsed, and the Dauphine became the punchline to jokes about unreliable imports. It proved that cheap doesn't mean good value when you're constantly broken down. At number 6 sits the 1957 to 1959 Pontiac Chieftain. Pontiac completely redesigned their mainstream sedan for 1957, trying to shake off their boring reputation. The Chieftain came with various versions of their 347 cubic inch V8, ranging from 227 horsepower up to 290 in top trim. The styling looked aggressive and modern, exactly what Pontiac wanted to attract younger buyers. Unfortunately, GM rushed the entire 1957 lineup to market before they were ready. The Chieftains suffered immediately. Rust bubbled through the paint during the first winter. Electrical problems plagued owners constantly. That Stratostreak V8 leaked oil from multiple points and developed valve issues. The hydromatic transmission left people stranded regularly. Panel gaps were inconsistent, chrome finish deteriorated rapidly, and interior pieces literally fell off. Water intrusion through windows and doors became a running joke. Pontiac dealerships couldn't handle the flood of warranty repairs. Used car values dropped like rocks as everyone learned these years were trouble. Pontiac was trying to transform their image, but the Chieftains' problems set them back significantly. Landing at number 5 is the 1957 to 1958 Dodge Custom Royal. Dodge's redesign looked spectacular with those dramatic fins and aggressive stance. A 325 cubic inch V8 producing up to 310 horsepower gave it genuine muscle. Sitting on a 122-inch wheelbase with Chrysler's respected TorqueFlite transmission, this car should have been a home run. Instead, it became a cautionary tale. Chrysler pushed everything to production too fast in 1957, and the Custom Royal suffered catastrophically. Rust appeared almost immediately, even before the first year was over. Every electrical component seemed to fail at random. That normally bulletproof TorqueFlite had unusual problems in these early applications. The paint job was so poor that cars looked 5 years old after one summer. Leaks everywhere. Doors, windows, trunk. Trim pieces vibrated loose. Assembly quality was frankly embarrassing. Dodge dealers drowned in warranty work they couldn't complete fast enough. The resale market rejected these cars completely. Dodge's reputation took years to recover from this debacle. Great design means nothing when execution fails this badly. At number 4, we find the 1957 to 1959 Plymouth Fury. For generations, Plymouth meant dependable, affordable transportation. That reputation died with the 1957 models. The Fury packed a 318 cubic inch V8, making up to 290 horsepower, rode on a 118-inch wheelbase, and wore dramatic styling that turned heads everywhere. But looking good and running well are completely different things. These Furies shared Chrysler Corporation's massive quality collapse. Corrosion started before owners finished making payments. Electrical gremlins were constant companions. Construction quality fell below acceptable standards by any measure. Paint blistered and flaked off. The unibody structure squeaked and rattled like a car with 100,000 hard miles, except these were brand new. Water found its way inside through countless poorly sealed joints. Service departments were overwhelmed and couldn't keep up. Trade-in values evaporated as the word spread. Pontiac watched their market position slide for decades after this disaster. This proved that destroying a good reputation takes only one bad product cycle. Grabbing the number 3 position is the 1957 to 1958 Mercury Turnpike Cruiser. Mercury designed this flagship specifically for America's new interstate highway system, loading it with futuristic features. A 368 cubic inch V8 made 290 horsepower. The wheelbase stretched to 122 inches, and the whole package weighed over 4,200 pounds. The interior looked like a NASA control room with push buttons everywhere. Every innovative feature became a reliability nightmare. That fancy retractable rear window jammed constantly and cost a fortune to repair when it inevitably broke. The backward slanted design collected every bit of road dirt and made seeing behind you nearly impossible. Push-button transmission controls malfunctioned regularly, stranding owners in parking lots. The entire electrical system seemed designed to fail. Water leaked in through multiple points. Random rattles and squeaks plagued every example. At nearly $4,000, buyers expected luxury and reliability. They got an expensive headache instead. Taking the number 2 spot is the 1958 to 1960 Ford Edsel, quite possibly the most famous automotive disaster in history. Ford poured over $250 million into development, equivalent to more than $2 billion today. They expected to dominate the market. The Edsel used a 361 cubic inch V8 making 303 horsepower, featured innovative teletouch transmission buttons in the steering wheel, and rode on a 118-inch wheelbase weighing about 3,800 pounds. Everything went wrong immediately. That vertical grille design became nationally mocked. Comparisons ranged from uncomfortable to downright vulgar. Quality control was non-existent. The teletouch transmission failed constantly, stranding frustrated owners. Oil leaked from everywhere. Paint started peeling within months of purchase. Then, the 1958 recession hit and buyers stopped spending entirely. Ford projected 200,000 sales in year one. They barely scraped together 65,000. By 1960, Ford pulled the plug after losing hundreds of millions of dollars. The Edsel name became synonymous with business failure, studied in universities as the ultimate cautionary tale. And claiming the number 1 spot as the absolute worst car of the 1950s is the 1957 to 1958 Packard Clipper. This isn't just about a bad car, it's about the death of American automotive royalty. Packard once stood alongside Cadillac and Lincoln as America's finest luxury automobiles, hand-built with legendary quality and prestige. After their desperate merger with Studebaker in 1954, everything fell apart rapidly. The 1957 to 1958 Packard Clipper was a complete fraud, literally just a Studebaker president with Packard badges stuck on. It used Studebaker's 289 cubic inch V8, making 275 horsepower, sat on a 120.5 inch wheelbase, weighing about 3,800 pounds. Real Packards were masterpieces of craftsmanship. These were ordinary mass production cars, pretending to be something they weren't. The quality was mediocre at best. The styling looked confused and cheap. They possessed none of the refinement, quietness, or excellence that defined Packard for decades. Loyal Packard customers were furious and refused to buy these imposters. The automotive press called them out as fakes.